All right, it says we're live. I'm looking.
All right, great. I can't wait to talk about the grant. Let's give some people time to log in or to get online and get ready to learn about our grant program.
Yes, ma'am. Exciting.
I know. I was ready for it to open today and see. And just it's so great that this round we can give away 25 grants instead of 10. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I know, so I can't wait. And we've already gotten applications this morning, but we do have quite a bit of time left. And gosh, I just really hope everybody takes their time and submits a great application.
Yeah, I agree. Take your time. There's no points for being first.
No. Of course, we don't want them to be after 5 on the 24th either.
Right.
So somewhere in between. So there's time to get all of that done. This is great. And I will have our page ready so we can kind of go through everything about this grant and show people where they can find the information online.
Yep, I see us live on Facebook and believe we're live on YouTube. We're good to go.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to be here. Maybe I'll just introduce ourselves really quick, Donna Lisa, and we'll wait and then get started. And this will be live. This will stay on those sites, right? So people can review it later. Yes. So that's great.
I can watch later for sure.
Okay, well, great. I'm Tracy Irby. I am the director at TWU, Center for Women Entrepreneurs. This is going to be our latest round of the StartHER Grant, so we're so happy to be here. I have Donna Lisa Stinyard online. She is our program director, and we will be getting ready in just a second to start.
Yes, yes. And please feel free to put your questions in the chat box. So I've got Debbie Brinkley on, and she's asking, she's on actually our YouTube channel, and she's asking, is this grant just for women in Texas?
Yes, it is. We were funded by the state of Texas to promote women entrepreneurs anywhere in the state. So anything, the grant is only for women in Texas, but you are able to take part in our online programming, our networking and training events. We have women on there from all across the country and the world, don't we, Donna Lisa?
Yes, we do. We've had, I think, Switzerland. We've had England. We're international now, Tracy. We are international.
We've had the Philippines as well. But we can tell Debbie, there are other sources out there for grants for women. Make sure you check out ifundwomen.com. And Hello Alice lists some as well. So there are other resources and other areas for you to get women grants.
She says thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, well, I'll just go ahead and kind of give a little overview, tell what the program's about, and then we can just start getting into it. What's great about this is it's going to be an overview, and what we want is everyone to be able to turn in the best application. We opened today and we did get some grants already, but some did not follow all of the guidelines. So that's why we're doing this. We want to make sure if you're submitting an application that you don't get disqualified. So here we are for the StartHER Grant. This is our grant program to help women business owners in the state of Texas current, or aspiring to undertake new and innovative projects. As said before, we're giving a total of 25 business owners a $5,000 grant. So if your business is not started yet, that is okay. So before you get started, make sure you read everything on this page. Make sure you read the grant guidelines and the FAQ. We've tried to spell it out as much as possible. So on our main StartHER Grant page, you will see the application process. So you will want to review all of that. Revisions are not permitted following submission. So this is why we're doing this. We want to make sure that you submit a great grant the first time. Applications that are received after 5 p.m. on Friday, the 22nd, will be automatically rejected. All required information and documentation must be uploaded, and we'll go over in some detail what all of that is. For example, proposals, vendor quotes, etc. Again, incomplete applications will be automatically rejected. And we even have a link how to combine multiple documents into one PDF. So we do have out here the outline and every question that is in the application. So we want you to take your time and go through here. Again, there is no rush to get it in. Being first does not matter. We have an independent judging committee that will judge all the applications at the end of the program. So, all right, our application questions. Is your business at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more women who are U.S. citizens or U.S. permanent residents? All right, this one is important. So the business has to be documented as being woman-owned, 51% or more. If you have 4 people that are in a business and you show no division, that does not show it is woman-owned. If you and your husband are in a business together, unless there is documentation showing you have 51% or more, your business is not considered woman-owned. I'm going to run over to the guidelines real quick so we can go through those and then look at the application process. But if anybody has any questions, you just jump in and let me know, Donalisa.
Yep, we do have a question. We have Dominique, who is on YouTube, and she says, I'm new to Texas and currently in the process of registering my business here from Tennessee. Will I be able to apply this round?
You sure can, because it shouldn't take you that long to register your business. The grant is not due until October, so that should allow you plenty of time to show that it is registered in Texas. Great question.
And we have another one from our Facebook, and she's asking, if you're an aspiring business owner and haven't yet filed as a business, what would you send in as documentation by a woman entrepreneur?
So that one is a little more difficult, but if you know you're just going to be a sole proprietor, let us know. You can write that out. If you want to do it beforehand, it's only $25. In many areas of Texas, it's just $25 to register a DBA at your county clerk's office. If you don't want to do that before submitting this, you do have to submit something in that box. And you could even write on a piece of paper when you are registering it, and we will use that. But you have to be really careful with this, and it's really easiest if you can register the business beforehand, even if it is a DBA at the county clerk's office, and that possibly later you want to get an LLC, that would be okay.
That's all we have for right now.
All right. Well, I'll get over to our grant guidelines. So the purpose of this is to foster greater economic development activity in Texas by encouraging and enabling women-owned small businesses to undertake new and innovative projects. A total of $125,000 25 awards is available this round of funding. So the grant amount is $5,000. So who can apply? So all of these conditions must be met. Existing or to be formed women-owned businesses, at least 51% directly owned and controlled by one or more women who are U.S. citizens or U.S. permanent residents with 5 or fewer employees. So again, if you're 2 women, you can just send in the documents showing that it is your business. If it's 2 women and a man, or a man and a woman, you will need some documentation showing the woman has the larger percentage, at least 51%. That 1% is what makes it a woman-owned business. 50-50 does not. The business must be a for-profit corporation, a partnership, a LLP, a LLC, a sole proprietorship, also known as DBA. Nonprofits are not eligible. So if you're a 501c3 or a 501c6, you cannot apply for this grant. If the business or business owner owns the premises for which the business operates, all property taxes must be current. Make sure, and these are all questions that are going to be on the grant application. So all sales, payroll, and other taxes must be current. Business owners must not have any felonies or convictions of a crime of dishonesty or breach of trust. This is a question on there, and there is a check that is done as well before any winners are announced. Okay, the business owner and applicant must not be involved in any pending or current litigation. I did leave an open spot for that. If you do want to message us at CWE Grant, sometimes maybe just a divorce or something like that is going on, you can let us know, and you can get that it could be okay to go ahead and apply for the grant. You must be operating with all required permits and licenses and are conforming to all required laws. If you are an LLC, you better go online and double check before you turn this in. There are many that don't realize they have to pay a franchise tax and have never paid it, and so they are in default. If we do our check before announcing winners and find you are in default with the state of Texas, we will not be able to award you the grant. So make sure you check everything before you apply and that your business is in good order with the state. TWU faculty, staff, their immediate family, household members, students, trustees, advisory committee members, and past grant recipients are not eligible to apply. Again, do not go in and apply if you are any one of these. Again, we do a search before we announce the winners on all of this. So we really don't want anybody wasting their time or the time we have to go through all these applications if you know that you don't qualify. So what can the funds be used for? We've had all kinds of different things over the years. So you can purchase machinery, equipment, or technology. You can add new inventory or raw materials. You can purchase an installation of merchandising, fixtures, and displays, anything you need to set up your business. Property improvements that will result in additional business, marketing, advertising, and social media campaigns. Any other business-related activity that the CWE deems is aligned with the stated purpose of this program, you can send us an email at any time at cwegrants@twu.edu to ask a question. So if you aren't sure, please make sure you email us, and you want to email before you submit your application. So if there's something you're not sure of, don't submit your application and then ask the question. Sales tax, wages, salaries, or compensation of any kind are explicitly ineligible activities under this program and will not be funded. And that has to do with the way we are funded, so we cannot pay for those with this grant. If you are doing advertising or need consultants, that is not considered wages to you, so that is okay, and you're able to do that. So what is going to need to be uploaded to the grant application? You're going to have proof of that your business is 51% woman-owned, and then one PDF with the company background and project information below. And it's so easy. You can just copy and paste this and prepare it before you go into apply. All of these questions have to be answered. If you do not answer any one of these questions, your application will be disqualified. So again, it's best if you just copy and paste this, answer every question. If it does not apply to your business, just put NA or not applicable. So this would include a narrative describing the business, description of the operations, a description of the current operating facilities, a summary of the company's current full and part-time employment, a description of the company's need to undertake the proposed project. Project information. Here you will include a narrative about your business, what it's about, what you do, a budget for the project, including project costs and sources of funds. So this grant is for $5,000. You can put that your project is more than $5,000, which is fine, but give us a budget, and then you're going to have to back that up with either invoices or pictures from Amazon or a website that's how much the things are going to cost. If we don't have the information, what your project is, we are not going to be able to fund those grants. So make sure that you answer every single question and put detail in there. Again, physical description of the project. I mean, what is it you're going to do? You're going to do an advertising project, or maybe you're going to buy a piece of equipment that is $7,000 and you're putting in some money. I mean, whatever it is, just make sure you spell it out there.
Hey, Tracy.
Yeah.
We do have another question from YouTube. We have L. Lockley that's asking if the application allows you to save and update as needed before you submit.
No, it does not. You have one opportunity. That's why all the questions are on the website under application process. So you can go through and we'll know the answer to all of those questions before you get started. The project and then information and narrative, you can do a PDF. You have to do it in a PDF offline, so you can fill in everything there. The other thing, again, on the application, all of the questions are listed. So you'll know everything is a yes or no, except for the things where you have to upload documentation. Well, of course, you have to put your personal information in there, name, address, phone number. So you should know that. But again, on the application process, all of the questions are there.
So we've pretty much given them everything that they need to answer all of the questions, everything that they can prepare ahead of time, so that when they go in and start to submit for the grant, they should have everything ready to go, right?
Correct. And, they can print out that application process page, and they can even write yes, no, or whatever on there if they want to have the answers written out. I mean, it's like your template for when you go in there.
Right.
So, again, we have tried to make this as easy as possible. That's why we list all the questions. So make sure, and again, take your time. This isn't due until October, 22nd. So you have time. Don't rush this and feel like you have to turn the application in. Take your time, go over everything that you're thinking about. And maybe sometime, as you started thinking, maybe you decide there's another project that may be better for your business and then want to change it. But if you hurried and turned something in already, you would not have the opportunity to go in and make any revisions. But that was a great question. Finally on here, we want to know the economic impact that your project is going to have. Is it going to result in new employment? If so, and then how would it contribute to the economy of Texas? And that could be through job creation, filling buildings in the town you're in. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that could help contribute to the economy of Texas. Obviously, if there's sales tax, that is a great one. So what are the grant requirements? You will get half of the money up. If you are awarded, you will get half of the money up front. You will sign a grant agreement. And before you can get the second half of the grant funding, we will need receipts for the first half. You will have to complete a small business training course, which is going to start on November 9th, and get through that, do a business plan, and meet with the small business advisor. Once that is done, you'll get the second half of your funds. We want to make sure everybody has skin in the game as well. So you are required to put a minimum of 10%, that would be $500, into your project. So that could be cash, property, equipment, anything that many things that you already have can be considered your contribution to your business. And that tells you, again, what will happen afterwards. I want you to see here, we do have a video on the StartHER Grant guidelines and the FAQ, and we're going to run over to the FAQ really quick. But again,
so we had a great comment from Gorgeous Gunter. He or she showed that she loves that part of meeting with small business advisor. That's a really solid requirement.
Oh, thank you, Gorgeous. We love that because we just recently started adding this to the program. But so often when people are getting started, they really don't know the steps they need to go through. And a business advisor can really help guide you and get you where you need to be. So thank you. Great question.
And we do have, I'm sorry, Tracy. We do have another question from Chantel. How much of the cost will you cover of the project, meaning only a portion, or could it cover full project? Example, IT. I realize we have to contribute 10%.
Okay, I'm not sure I fully understand that question. Our grant is for $5,000, so we're going to pay $5,000 even if your project is $8,000.
Yeah, I think that's
okay. Yeah. Just, I mean, it is fine to submit your project just so we know what the whole total cost of it's going to be. And
so
again,
we could be funding just like a portion of it, right? Like I know we've had somebody purchase farm equipment or the picture trailer, and the grant contributed $5,000 to that total project. Is that correct, Tracy?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So exactly. So if there are other questions, again, we're going to do all of our questions through email, so we have a record of all of them. We don't want you calling because then we don't have a record that we had talked to you about something. So make sure you send them all to cwegrants@twu.edu. And I want to make a quick trip over to our frequently asked questions. Again, this elaborates a little more from the guidelines. So again, who can apply? Texas new or to be formed 51% or more women-owned businesses with less than 5 employees. The owner must identify as female, be 18 or older, live in Texas, and be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Does the business have to be started? No. The grant can be used for a startup, and if so, put in your project that this is a startup and we want to see your startup costs in there. And if you hadn't done your legal filings yet, they will need to be done with the grant funds. So do I have to be affiliated with TWU to apply? No. The grant is open to any woman-owned business in the state of Texas. TWU faculty, staff, or their immediate household members, students, trustees, and advisory committee members are not eligible to apply. Can previous TWU CWE grant winners apply? No. No, previous winners cannot apply. Texas is a huge state and there's so much opportunity out there. We want to reach as many women as we possibly can and didn't think it would be fair to them if we kept giving grants to the same people over and over again. So I've never filled out a grant application before. Should I get a grant writer? Save your money. What we want is not really detailed. You just need to be able to answer the questions that we've asked. We want to hear about your business in your words. Our template should make it easy for you to answer the questions. So what can be used to verify my business is woman-owned? This is so important and a requirement. You have to have this. So proof of woman-owned and controlled documentation could include and must show at least 51% ownership. Any woman-owned business certification will work. WOSB, WBE, if you have any of those, you can send that because we know you've already been vetted. If you are a sole proprietor, your assumed name filing, DBA, will work. If you are LLC or LLP, and we're going to need certification of organization, articles of incorporation, a partnership agreement. And if you don't have any of those, this is especially for a sole proprietor, a bank signature card. If it just shows you are the only one on there, that will be acceptable as well. If one document doesn't show this, make sure you send the one that shows the percentage. We do not need to see every single page of your agreement, but if there is the one that shows you have 51% or more, that is what we need. If you are the only owner, if you are the only name on an LLC, that's great. We don't need to see anything else. And whatever you do, do not send us your driver's license, social security card, or credit card. We don't want those. Those don't show that your business is woman-owned. We need the other type of documentation, and we just want to make sure that all of your personal information like that is safe. So, can I apply for several different businesses I'm thinking about starting? No, only one application per person will be accepted. If you're trying to start 5 different companies, it would be difficult for you to focus on the one, and we think that is too much. We want you to be focused on one business and one business only. So we don't want to see someone sending in a lot of different applications. And there would only be one per person anyway, so there's really no use sending in a bunch of them.
Tracy, we do have another question.
Great.
L. Lockley from YouTube is asking, if I'm selected, is it mandatory that you attend every Tuesday, November 9th through the 7th? One of the Tuesdays she has a prior engagement out of state. Can I send a family member on my behalf?
Well, what we could do on that is send the video out afterwards and have you answer some questions about the video. So we understand that things happen and people may not always be able to make it, but we really encourage you, if you are in town, in here, attend. But we do understand that things come up. If you do have a partner, they could watch the video, or if they're involved in your business, but you would need to let us know who's watching. But we'd really like you to watch the video later so that you're the one getting the information.
And then Gorgeous Gunter from YouTube said she was planning on using her LLC operations agreement. I think that was in reference to your 51% woman-owned.
Correct. And as long as it shows the percentage in there, that's what we need. It could be mainly, excuse me, the first page of the LLC, and then the operating agreement, or even the page in the operating agreement in a signature page. Part of the operating agreement would show as well.
Great.
So good. We're glad she'll be able to apply. What about sales tax? Sales tax cannot be paid for with these grant funds. Can wages, salaries, or compensation be used for grant funding? No, it cannot. It is not to fund the people that are in your business right now or to fund your salary. You can use consultants, and that is different than you paying yourself. So if you are going to have a marketing person come in, they aren't your employee, they aren't your contract labor, they are a consultant that could set that up for you, a marketing or advertising campaign. So there is a difference. So if there was an accountant sending something up, or someone doing your website, all of that is okay because they are consultants, and that is allowed. So can I pay bills with the grant funding? This grant is not to pay your recurring monthly bills. This grant is for a specific project that can help get you started. So there are things, let's say you wanted to get QuickBooks or something like that instead of going month to month. And if you want to buy the whole program, write that in there and you could do it that way. What is the matching requirement? The matching requirement is 10% owner investment, and that would be $500 committed to the project. And again, that could be in cash, startup costs, licensing, supplies, equipment for the project. If you, again, bought a desk at home to use, any of that can be used as part of your investment in your business. But again, we want you to have skin in the game. This is your business, and we want to make sure you're investing in it as well. So what kind of project contribution to the economy are you looking for? And again, is it going to add to the sales tax base? Is it going to create jobs or have some other contribution to the community or state? We've seen different answers over the years. And again, so think about this. Everybody's business really does have some type of impact, even if it's just in the community where you are. All right, and when are applications due? Grant applications are due at 5 p.m. October 22nd, 2021. All late submissions will be disqualified. Allow enough time for internet problems and time to complete the application. Again, every year we get applications after the deadline. Do not wait to 4:30 to start this project, to start inputting. We want to make sure you have plenty of time to get it in, because we know computer problems happen. I mean, internet could go down, power could go off, and we don't want you to miss it because of that. So, and then where can I get additional questions answered? All grant-related questions must be sent to cwegrants@twu.edu. Again, we don't want phone calls. We want to be able to track the answers to every one of you. So if a question ever came back, we could go back and refer to it. We also have a video. We have several different videos. There is a video on the FAQs. There is a video on doing the project and narrative. So make sure you take your time and go through all of this. Again, we want you to have a great application. There is no need to rush this. So take your time, go through everything here. If you have any questions, reach out to us at the grant email, and we're happy to answer it for you.
So Tracy, can we talk a second about the documentation, the project narrative and stuff, and that's uploaded into one PDF file, correct?
Yes.
And so how do they, I know a lot of people feel like they want to include a lot of information, maybe a lot of pictures. And so can you share with people like maybe how to uh, provide us with what we need with kind of minimal amounts of, content?
Okay. We get a lot of applications, so no one really wants to review 100 pages of information. We really want it short and to the point. So with that, again, you will copy this part here, a brief narrative. I mean, if you want to put it on something else and maybe a picture or two, but there's not enough bandwidth or enough for all of that information to be uploaded. So rather than, maybe you don't need all those other pictures or fancy font, because again, it's the project that we're most interested in the company background. So be very careful about that. We do want pictures of items you're planning to buy. So that could be an invoice. It could be a quote. It could be pictures from Amazon or a website online. All of those you can shrink, and many people just put them all on one page, and then that's great. We can see, okay, this costs 200, this costs 3,000. And that's a real easy way to do it, that we don't need like a whole page picture. It may be too much for you to upload. So again, go easy, but make sure you have the required information that we're looking for.
Awesome. And then something else. So you can follow us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. Every Tuesday, we're posting a Tuesday tip. We did it all of September, and we'll be doing it all of October till that final week when the grant applications are due. And each week, we're giving you a tip that will help you write a winning grant. So again, take your time. You don't have to you don't have to get it in today. You can start putting all of your things together and going back to the website and those Tuesday tips so that you can put your best business foot forward.
Thank you, Donna Lisa. And again, as we look here, these are the application questions that you're going to be answering. So make sure you run through that several times before you go into the how to apply. And again, take your time, look it over, maybe share it with a friend who doesn't know your business. Make sure that it's really concise and that anybody reading it can know and understand your business and the project that you're looking to do. And we're so excited about this opportunity. We can't wait to read all the applications. And we were offering this today just to make sure you can submit the best grant application possible.
So Chantel, the Tuesday tips, they are posted on, they're actually across all of our social media. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter and LinkedIn. And on Instagram, you can go to our highlights and there's actually a grant tips highlight. So all of them are showing up in there. So I think this week was number 3. Next week is number 4. Lots of good stuff out there.
We're trying to do everything we can to help you.
She also asked, Tracy, how can we find an example of project narratives?
We don't have an example, but just, do not overthink this. So often people overthink. What's a brief description of your company's history? Again, we also have a video on this as well if you want to watch that. But where'd you come up with the idea? Have you ever been in this industry before? Just a little bit about it. What's your background? Are you degreed? Did you work in this area? Anything like that would go in there. Just very brief. Again, we just want to hear from you and kind of how you got to the spot and the reason you're starting the business that you had.
And I think one of the videos that is linked on that page, also you go into depth a little bit more about the company narrative, right? Is that correct, Tracy? And you can
yes, on each one of them and ideas of what they can be putting in there.
Great. L. Lockley just asked, when will the grant winners be announced and how will they be notified?
They will be announced on November 5th, and they will be notified by email. So you make sure that you put an email in here that you actually look at, because we've had some in the past where someone maybe just created an email to send in this application but never check it. So make sure that it's done that way. But we will be notifying everybody on November 5th, and everybody will get notified one way or another. So around that date, if you do not see anything, make sure that you check your spam folder as well, because many times our information, our emails go to spam. So make sure to be aware on November 5th to be checking for an email.
And Gorgeous, thanks for following us on Instagram. I just saw that you started following us, so thank you very much. That's awesome.
Great. So thank you everybody for attending. And at the bottom of the application process is helpful videos. So you'll want to go in and review all of those, because that should really help you get an idea of what we're looking for. And again, if there are any questions, cwegrants@twu.edu.
Awesome. Well, Tracy, it looks like we don't have any questions, so I think we are good to go.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and good luck. And we look forward to receiving your application.
Good luck, everyone. Bye.